So, Trenika Allen, tell everybody who you are, honey.
Hello, I am Trenika Allen. I am from beautiful Pensacola, Florida. Well, it's raining right now, but the Sunshine State. And I'm also known as TK. And I've recently been divorced now since 2000. I think it was just 2020.
Okay. So
2020.
that was a
Yeah.
COVID divorce? Would you consider that a COVID divorce?
I would I would consider it a
Okay.
pre-COVID divorce. Yeah, I consider it a pre-COVID divorce.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Now,
like that.
empowering divorce conversations is not about getting all in your business about why you got
Right,
divorced, but these
right.
conversations are about empowerment, about you evolving into the woman that you have become since your divorce. And I'd like to discuss with
Yes,
you how leaving unhealthy relationships with family and friends
yes.
helped you to find your boundaries as well as maintain your peace. Let's get into that, honey. What was it for
Yeah, let's
you?
get
What
into
was
it.
the deciding factor when you started having to release people? And tell us some of the people you may have had to release.
I've had to release. Ooh, I had to release, of course, his friends and
Mm-hmm.
family, most definitely. Um, ma- mainly, mainly, his mother, you know. And I've also had to release a couple of family members on my
Yeah.
side. You know, see, when people don't know what's going on with you, they assume, especially if you don't speak to them and tell them what's going on with you or what happened. And then you have some that know that still have an opinion on it. And in order for you to keep your peace, you got to go ahead and I'm going to love you from a distance.
Yeah.
I'm going to love you from a distance. I'm going to divorce you too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm going to divorce you too. And and go on with breathing again, exhaling again. Um, turn around and start back loving myself.
Mm.
You know, um, holding on to that anger and that anger, that resentment that you did me wrong. That right there was a spirit of darkness. And even if you leave the situation that you were in, you still affected by it. There's still side effects. I call them
Yeah.
side effects.
Yeah. That's exactly what there are. I call them side effects and residue. You know what I'm
Ooh,
saying? Yeah, that's that residue that keep coming up. But
ooh,
you said something powerful.
yes,
You said when you don't speak to, family members and friends about what's going on in your relationship and why you're choosing divorce, they just begin to assume. Not only do they
right,
assume, they begin to run with a narrative.
yes,
Let's talk about that.
yes, yes, yes. Oh my God. With that situation, it was a couple of people looked at me a certain way. I didn't know because how you feel about me is your business and not mine. I never cared about that. But once they saw for themselves, you know, the kind of person that he was without me letting them see that or without me giving them information, oh, it was Trenika. I'm so sorry
Mm-hmm.
that you had to deal with that,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Um, and then you had the people, the family members. Well, everybody go through their ups and downs. Marriage is a fight. Back in the day, we didn't get divorced. And in my mind, we is in the 20th century. I'm not going to stay with nothing that's killing me on the inside and changing me physically and emotionally and mentally. Because I look at you and I see the aging that progressed because you stayed in a situation for
Mm-hmm.
20 and 40 years. And
Come
and
on
it's
now, because I
outside.
look at some
Yeah,
pictures of
ooh,
myself just 5, 6 years ago. And I could see it. I could see it on my face. I could see the heaviness. I can see around my eyes. I can see, even though I thought I was happy, where my
yes,
eyes told a story and my soul wasn't
yes,
happy.
yes. Oh God, yeah, 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 yeah. Yes, indeed.
Wow.
Yes, yes. And you project that into your daily living and don't even know you're doing it. Don't even know you're doing it. I found myself being short with people. I find myself with, and didn't even know it, unconsciously doing it, being very rude, dry, and these people done nothing to me. Not wanting to be around anybody because I knew I had anger issues and I knew I felt a certain way. But baby, whoo, but baby, when I took that first fresh breath of, it was all she wrote. It was all she wrote. I had to say, Trenika, you experienced that. Now, what was the lesson that you
Mm,
learned?
that part. That part. Tell us a little bit about that first fresh breath. Cause see, I feel you on that first fresh breath. I remember when I left and I had an apartment. I had an apartment 2 weeks before I actually left the house. I had
Mm-hmm.
already been preparing from and planning my exit. I even told him I was planning my exit, and when he needed to get the time limit, he needed to get himself together. I loved him enough to at least
Right.
give him a forewarning. I'm going to leave you by this date, and I don't think he believed me. You know what I'm saying? But I remember that first fresh breath, and it was when I went to my apartment, my new apartment, and I slept and I slept and I
Mm-hmm.
slept. It was like my body had fell asleep for the
Yes, yes,
first
yes,
time
yes.
in
Uh-huh.
years. Tell us about that fresh breath.
Yep. So it's something about us. It's something about us. I'm I'm just gonna go ahead and call a spade a spade. It's something about us, um, Black women, that still want you to succeed, even though we are finished, because we see the potential in you. We see the greatness in you. However, we're gonna give you what you didn't give us. I too said 6 months. Hey, get yourself together. You need to be out from out of here. And it was December the 5th, 2018, when that man left and was gone. I didn't, my anxiety immediately went away. I used to have anxiety when I pulled down our street and saw his vehicle in the driveway. So for me to come home and not see that, I said, "Ooh, it was euphoric.
Mm, mm,
It was euphoric. It was okay. I can breathe. I don't have to listen to or be in that gray, that darkness. My anxiety went immediately away. And when I tell you, I think our body has to recuperate, has to recover, because I too slept.
mm,
I slept.
mm.
I slept that entire
Yeah,
weekend. I slept
recover.
that entire weekend. I wanted to throw a party. I ain't never been so festive in my
I ain't
life.
want to throw no party, girl. I just wanted to rest and I wanted peace. My music changed. My TV shows changed. My like I changed my whole environment. I wanted
Yes,
peace and quiet. I just wanted to sit with myself and eat a good
yes,
meal and sleep.
yes, 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 yes. I started to tap more into meditation. I started to say, okay, so in order for me to, my divorce became a spiritual awakening. In order for me to truly heal, because we've all had our heart broken before. I, I wanted to know, what lesson did I learn, and in order for me to learn what I needed to learn and see and be able to open my eyes, my third eye, to see what I learned, I had to tap into my inner self. I had to see what and it probably don't make sense to other people, but I had to see what my past lives
Yeah,
were, and who was I in my
yeah,
past lives, and how did I overcome, and where's the connection with
right.
that and now with me. And that made me go back into my Cosmic records.
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn how to meditate to that point to where I can see things very clearly. And when I did, Miss Tracy, mm, 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 I fell in love with myself. I instantly fell back in love with myself.
Yes, yes. Now
I
I know
did.
that's a very intimate and very it deserves autonomy. Not, not publicly sharing what your past lives
Right.
were and all
Correct.
of that. However, can you at least share the connection that you made of what your evolution is now today in this age, in this body, coming as Trenika Allen, and what is
Yeah.
that connection in what it had to do with the divorce?
The connection was
Speak up.
remember the connection was remember your strength. Remember your resilience. Remember your power. You're very strong. You fought many a battles and won many a wars. Spiritually, emotionally, you won some fierce wars. And you are that queen. You are that goddess from within. And you can do anything and get over anything and turn that daggum tragedy into something magnificent and great. Like I just transformed. Like I started wearing things that I usually wouldn't wear. I started tapping into stuff that I never would tap into. I started referencing like flavors and senses and smells that was like, oh my God, what, where was this? Why couldn't I smell this? Why couldn't I see this way before? Why am it's like I'm looking through new eyes, like I'm smelling through a new
Right.
nose.
So the veil had been
Like,
lifted.
baby, yes. And my ancestors were behind me. They were behind me. They was like, no, baby, you need to see it that way. No, baby, you need to see it that way. Everything is a lesson. Don't take nothing no more
Mhm.
from this day forth as a disappointment or something negative or a negative experience. Always look at something as a teaching
Yes.
moment, a teachable moment.
Yes.
And that's how I've been doing it so far.
Every relationship is a teaching and learning opportunity. So, would you say that your ex-husband was a master teacher in your life? I definitely say
Right?
mine was a master teacher. So, do you consider him a master teacher? And what did he teach you about yourself?
That man was a professor. Do you hear me? The professor of on top of all universes ever in America or this universe to speak of. He taught me. He taught me no matter what, do not lose yourself in love. Do not lose
Ooh.
yourself in a relationship. Do not lose yourself in a man. Do not lose yourself in his
Ooh.
touch. Don't lose yourself in the way he makes you feel. Don't lose yourself in the security that he gives you. Don't.
Girl.
Don't. Yeah, he taught me all of that. And I was like, well, whoa. What? I could I I was just I was
Mm-hmm.
speechless. I was
So
speechless
when
and
did
I
it
was
come to you? When did
grateful.
you have the revelation that that was part of the biggest lessons that you needed to learn? When did you have that revelation based on from the time you got divorced to that revelation and experience happening for you, that breakthrough?
So, so it was a year and 1 month. It was a year and 1 month. We got separated December the 5th, 2018. The divorce was final January the 7th of 2020. And I believe that very moment right there, I was just like, Trinica, sit with this paperwork. Because it didn't click until I got that paperwork in my hand, till
Mm-hmm.
I got that email saying, hey, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And when I got that paper in my hand, I sat back and I looked and I was like, holy shit, excuse my French. This is your new
Mm-hmm.
beginning. This is your door
Mm-hmm.
opening. What did you learn from it, Trinica? And that's when I had to sit with myself. And that's exactly when I saw that. That's when I felt that. That's when I smelt that. That's when I felt that at that moment.
Wow. That's beautiful, sis. That's so beautiful. So what would you tell um the other women, the other sisters who are contemplating, if they should or if they shouldn't. I mean, we don't know their situation outright,
Right.
but
Correct. Correct. Correct.
overall,
Correct.
if this is something that, they're it's probably top of their thoughts right now. Because I know for me, if it went on for months, that it was at the top of my thoughts because I was
Mm-hmm.
exhausting all
Hmm.
of my efforts and nothing was working. Right? What would you tell a sister who may be struggling with the whole concept of marriage, sticking and staying to be a good wife, but still accepting abuse and not understanding her power?
Well, um, that's something that I would have. What I would probably say is do it at your own pace and at your own
Yeah.
time. There is no right or wrong or no reason or rhyme. Um, when you get tired, you know when you're going to get tired. I can't tell you when you get tired, but I do want you to ask yourself when you're by yourself with your thoughts. Ask yourself when the last time you took a breath of fresh air without crying.
Mm,
When have you looked at yourself and said, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful, I am worth it all? Ask yourself what would be the benefits of you staying and what would be the benefits of you leaving.
yes.
Only you can answer that. But if you're contemplating it, then it must happen. It must happen. If it's a thought, a smidget of an
Yeah.
idea in your mind, then that's your conscious, that's your heart telling you, baby,
Hmm.
we cannot continue to drown. Everybody got their day when they're going to leave this earth, but we want to leave this day, this earth, in love, light,
Yes.
and laughter, not in hurt, disappointment, and heartache. But if you get that one discernment and say, I can't breathe, I can't, baby, it's time to go. It's time to go. Make you an exit plan, baby. Connect with someone that you know will be your support system because that's very, very,
That's
very,
big.
very, very
Hmm.
important. Oh, connect with someone. I'm available. I'm available. You can reach out to me. But you must do what's best for your health, baby. Especially if you got kids. You got if you got that if it's in your mind and you saying I don't know if I should stay,
Yeah.
you should not stay.
Yeah.
You got to go.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. That anytime it's just even a fleeting thought of divorce, that is your conscious and your soul speaking to you. And many times we run
Mhm.
from that because we feel like, oh, we're not
Yeah.
supposed to be thinking like that. Oh, no, I'm not
Right,
supposed to
right, right,
leave. I'm,
right,
I'm
right, right,
supposed
right.
to stay. I'm supposed to work it out. Many times we look at certain marriage challenges as, oh, this is just part of being married, but yet we're
Right,
dying inside. We're being
right.
drained. We're being abused and we're dying. We're literally dying. I felt like I was dying inside. Right. And then with me, I had an age factor.
Mm.
What am I going to do? Age 56, leaving a marriage. Well, I'm going
Yeah,
to
yeah,
live.
yeah. Right,
I'm going to live
right.
and be happy because when I thought about the remainder of my life in living like I was currently living in the marriage, I didn't want to do that. And that's one of the reasons I chose at this age.
Mm.
So I totally get it. And I too had to release people. I released a
Yeah,
lot of friendships because they considered me toxic going into my to leaving my husband because I have became more aware of the behaviors of men. That's what this divorce helped me to do.
right.
This divorce helped me to become aware of the behaviors of 99.9999% of men. And in me speaking about that, many of
Yeah,
my friends who wanted to hold on to that program of marriage, I became
right,
toxic for them. So that meant we
right,
had to separate ways. I also had to separate ways with some of my married friends. You know,
right. Mm-hmm.
I'm no longer married. So, that commonality of things that we discuss will no longer show up
Yeah,
because I'm no longer married. So a lot of, I broke free of what that good wife program is.
yeah,
So like I said, I don't advocate divorce. I say if you could do it, if
Right.
you could stick and stay and make it work,
Exactly.
do that.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
I do advocate life, love, and happiness after
Yes.
divorce. Okay.
Yes.
And I think no
Yes. Yes.
matter your relationship status, everybody deserves life, love, and happiness.
Yes. Of
That's
course.
not a
Of course.
relationship thing. Life, love, and happiness. That everybody deserves that if that's something that you truly desire, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, having to release people, that was a big part of it. Divorcing some of, my friends and even some
Yes.
family members. My family
Yes.
members, like you said, took it upon
Hmm.
themselves to create a narrative and spread it throughout the family. And they disconnected themselves from me. Like, no, none of them called me to see how I was doing.
You better talk about it. You better talk about it. I concur. Yep. Yeah, you better talk about it. Because when you physically going through, something like that in a marriage, your emotional state of mind, your mental state of mind manifests into a physical state, and you start looking how
Yes.
you feel.
Yes.
And I was like, oh
Yeah.
no.
That first year,
Ooh.
I was aging
No.
rapidly. I did not look like this,
Mm.
honey. All bright and bushy tail. Girl, I did not look like this. I was
All
aging
bright and
rapidly
bushy
while I
tail.
was depressed. I was grieving. I was mourning. I was angry.
It is
Give us real quick.
like a
How did you
grievance.
work through the
It is
anger?
like a
Because
loss.
see, that's an emotion that rises up often. And what I found for me, Trenika, I wasn't just angry at my husband. My that was like the pivotal point of me recognizing all of the things I was angry about throughout my life. It was like a catalyst of this can of worms opening
Yeah.
up. How did you deal with that
Yep.
anger?
Wrote it down and burnt it.
Ooh.
Wrote it down. Saged, of course. Saged, wrote it down, and lit it on fire and said, I release you.
Mm,
I release you.
okay. Now,
You can't,
how did you go about doing the work, the emotional work? Because that ritual does work on certain levels of consciousness. But how did you work on the emotional?
so, through meditation and, you know, shadow work, you know, um, and shadow work is basically all of the emotional things, like you said, a catalyst of things that happen throughout your life. I call those
Mm-hmm.
shadows, and you are forced to deal with it. You have to work through because it takes you back to when you got mad when you was a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
It take you back to when you were done a certain way. All the disappointments in your life start to say, "Hey, I'm back.
Yeah.
You thought you put it on the shelf, but hey, here I am," and you're mad at yourself. So now you got to deal with yourself. You got to deal with them skeletons in the closet, all of them, every single one of them.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I had to go through meditation. I had to I had to deal with myself. I had to embrace my depression. My depression, baby, my depression taught me how to sit with myself and deal with Trenika. And I appreciate my
Mm-hmm.
depression. I appreciate that time where my self-conscious had to take over and say, hey, listen, baby, you need a break from the outside world. You need a break from this. And a lot of times when I say to myself, people like, you can't let that person take your happiness. You got to get out. You don't understand what I'm
Right.
going through. You may have been through a divorce, but
Yeah,
me
you
and you are two different
can't
people.
call my
And I
pain for
need to
me.
be by my yes, 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 yes. And I know I was a topic of a lot of people's conversations at those
Yes.
times and moments. But I had to choose me and deal with me the best way that I could because sometimes that support system got things going on too because life is life, and right? So you can't depend on everyone to be there when you need them, but at the same time, you do have a support
Yes.
system. But when you have those moments where you just can't reach out to that person or that person, you're forced to, okay, I'm gonna sit down here, manifest, speak to God, and just be like, okay, what do I need to do? I gotta physically write this down because I can't say get away. I gotta see it and I gotta watch it. And when I watch it, I say to myself, okay, now you're going. I gotta see things happening. I just can't put it in my mind. I gotta see it. I gotta see it walking away
Okay.
or burning.
Burn it. Burn it.
Yeah,
From the
yeah, yeah,
inside
yeah.
out.
And start
Yes.
anew. And start anew.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
start anew. And I think that's what we're scared of,
Yeah.
because in starting anew, we don't necessarily have all the answers. And that can be
No
scary
way.
because we rather live a comfortable life.
Yeah, and living a comfortable life is
Yeah,
complacency.
but
And you're
a
in
comfortable
a
lie.
box. Oh,
Lie. We
oh,
rather live a comfortable
yes,
lie
yes,
than an uncomfortable
yes,
truth.
yes, yes. And that's still
Yes.
complacency in my eyes.
And
You know,
denial.
right? A big one,
Big denial.
a, a big one, a big one. Of course, of course, of course. But I'm starting to do things that I never thought that I would do. Never thought that I would do. Go places I never thought that I would want to go see. And baby, I've never been to a concert before. And I was supposed to go, I was supposed to go to a concert and I didn't. How can I put this? It was supposed to be something that he and I were supposed to do because I never been to one before.
Okay.
I ended up going by myself and I enjoyed it. It was a mini little concert, but I enjoyed it. But those are the type of things that I've never done before.
Yeah.
I've never done before. Never would have thought of doing it before.
Hmm.
Never would have thought
You're
of doing
having a
it
new
before.
relationship with Trenika. And
Ooh,
don't it feel
baby,
good,
and I've left
girl?
me her inside
It
and
feels
out.
so
Ooh,
good.
you hear me? You hear
It
me?
feels
Do
so
you hear what I'm
good.
talking? Do you
Any last words?
hear what
Tell the
I'm
people how
talking?
they can find you, girl, and what you got going on.
Ooh, so this page right here that I think is tagged under TK is Love and Light. Um, that is my modeling page. I started doing modeling now for plus size
Ooh,
women.
ooh. Come
Us
on,
big girls
girl.
got to
Me
have
too.
got to say we are here.
Oh,
We got to say I'm here. But you can reach me on Facebook, TK is or TK is Love and Light, and those are both my handles on my Instagram as well. On my Instagram as well.
okay. Thank you so much. And thank you for being part of the
Okay.
Rebirth Collective community. I'm so glad that you're
Always.
here, as well as you have introduced and invited some of your friends. So, what's up, friends? Those who
You ain't
Trenika
lying.
invited.
Come on,
What you say?
baby. Come on in, honey. Come on in the
Yes,
room.
come on in
You
the
have
rooms. We're
space. You have sacred space here.
yes, safe and sacred community where we can share, where I'm sharing weekly. Every other week we do our divorce empowered conversations. So it's a lot of opportunity for us to vibe together as sistering,
Right,
as well as have that support we need to continue to
right,
reinvent ourselves in this new way of life after divorce.
right. Because some people they don't want to. They're very private, and it's different than speaking to a family member or a stranger versus speaking to someone that actually knows what you're going through, and you can share each other's experiences and teach each other and help each other. And this is what this is for.
Yes,
And you have created it. So applause is to you
thank you.
for creating this space for us to come to.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it growing. And I'm looking forward to doing some things with it. I know that this is part of my calling,
Right.
advocating for women, love and life and happiness after divorce, because like I
Yes,
said, no
yes, yes.
matter our relationship status, we deserve that. We deserve it, and
Right.
we also deserve to learn how to navigate it. And I find that many times that's where we get stuck. We don't know how to navigate this new and next level of life after this identity we just had in marriage and with the children and all of the traditions in the family and all of that. It's hard to navigate that after releasing that. It's hard to
Yes,
find our
going
way.
through
It's
any
hard to
kind
find some
of
compassion and find somebody that we feel can even understand what we're going through without being judged.
compassion. That was one right there. That's the main one right there. Compassion. Compassion for you.
Yes. Yes, compassion for you, compassion for your
Yeah.
feelings, knowing that your feelings are valid. Your wants, needs, and desires are all valid. They're
Right.
all valid. And we so used to giving and sharing and dividing and committing. that many times we get put on the back burner and we lose ourselves in all those things.
Right.
You
Right.
know, so we're here to lift one another up in this reinvention. And I just want to thank you. You have been such an honor and a blessing to our community. Thank you for sharing your
Yes,
evolution after divorce and how it has supported you in your goal of growth. I
yes,
commend
ma'am.
you, dear Trenika Allen.
Thank
TK is
you.
love and light.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. And those of you who are interested in joining the Rebirth Collective community, you can join us on Facebook at the Rebirth Collective community. If you're over 40 and you're divorcing or you've been divorced, this is a safe and sacred community to help you share and find common ground with sisters who
Right.
also are reinventing themselves after divorce. Thank you. Love you. Peace and blessings. Mwah.
Thank you.
Join our safe and supportive community for women who are over 40, recovering from divorce and in the process of a reinvention and finding happiness. The Rebirth Collective.